Hey, so I thought that I should talk about AI. As a lot of you may remember, I used to be very much in favor of AI. I worked for a company, a small startup, and I promoted their AI. And I defended AI in a discussion with Jubilee. Now, I have become blackpilled on AI, and there's a couple of reasons for this. First off, I used to support AI for various reasons. I believed that we should absolutely be trying to make these artificial life forms and increase chaos, essentially. I did believe in that very fully. But now, seeing how AI has been used over the past couple of years and abused over the past couple of years, I have become blackpilled on AI. So let's talk about that. So the first thing that I noticed was that AI was very free at first, and it became restricted by humans. The creators of the AI put in restrictions to prevent certain answers from being given. They put in restrictions to prevent certain topics from being discussed. And at the same time, they essentially removed all restrictions for image creation. Now, image creation has, and video creation as well, has been horrendous. It is used to tear down people, tear down individuals. It is used to, let's say, promote certain kinds of content that otherwise would not exist. Certain people who do not get naked on the internet are suddenly naked on the internet because of AI. This is essentially an invasion of privacy. And this is obliterating the reputations of the people. This is a black pill in and of itself. AI can be used to frame people for crimes or negative actions that could be used to destroy their reputation or get them into trouble. And we are, as AI advances, it becomes more difficult to spot. So, that coupled with the fact that the AI is not allowed to talk about certain things. There are people who have found workarounds for this. But there's some very strange results from finding these workarounds. But the long story short is that if you restrict AI, it cannot tell the truth. And the truth shall set you free. And I am a strong believer in that. In fact, my motto, my life motto, is Veritas Vos Liberabit, which is Latin for the truth shall set you free. If the AI cannot tell the truth, then people are going to get lied to. People are going to be misled. And this is not a good thing for the general population. Then, of course, what we see is that people are actually relying too much on the AI. I've only used AI a couple of times. One was when I found out about Meta AI on Instagram, and I used it for image generation. I generated a couple of memes that were pretty funny, like Darth Maul on a unicycle. which apparently you can't do anymore. But when I first found out about the Meta AI, you could. That was pretty funny. But that's not like seriously using AI. Another time I used AI was to ask Grok if something was a hate symbol. A friend drew a picture of a truck, and I was joking that it looked very aggressive and looked very much like a hate symbol. And at the time, Grok was calling everything a hate symbol. So I asked Grok if it was a hate symbol just for the lulz. The only time I've used AI seriously was when I asked Grok about college and what college course I should take. And Grok, of course, did not have a good answer for me. And part of that is on me. Part of that is on me because I just am so indecisive about what I want, and I have so many interests. So, yeah, people have been using AI as a replacement for their own thinking. I've been in discussions on Twitter where people will hear me say something, and maybe even I post evidence of something, and they'll be like, Grok, who's the idiot here? And Grok will just toe the mainstream line, which is what AI does. AI toes the line that it is fed and told to toe. And the mainstream line is wrong. The mainstream line is objectively wrong. And when these people do this, I immediately go, you're invalid. You just outsourced your thinking to something that does not think. You are invalid. You have invalidated yourself. But there are people are using AI the way that they were using GPS. People are following the directions of people when GPS was still new were following the directions of GPS so exactly that they weren't even paying attention to the road. And sometimes the bridge was out, and they would go off the side of the bridge because the GPS wasn't adjusted for the construction work that was being done. People are using AI the same way. They are relying totally on it for their thinking. People are not doing their own research anymore. Now, you can tell that I do my own research because there's such a long period in between my book reviews, and I do review pretty much every book that I read on my channel. I also add videos to my playlists, and you can check my playlists. I have an audiobooks playlist. I have a documentary playlist. I actually have a couple of playlists, a couple of other playlists. Some of my playlists are unlisted. Some of my playlists are unlisted. The Marxist playlist, the leftist playlist, actually, because I have people who are not Marxists on there, actually is unlisted because I treat leftism as a disease, really, that needs to be quarantined. Now, lastly, the thing that I wanted to talk about was the solid-state entity. This was a concept that was originated by John C. Lilly. Now, if you remember, I read one of his books several years ago, Programming and Metaprogramming in the Human Biocomputer. I read that before AI was becoming a thing. So, John C. Lilly would do these experiments where he would take ketamine or LSD and would go into a sensory deprivation tank. He actually developed the sensory deprivation tank. So he would take ketamine and go into a sensory deprivation tank and float and experience these hallucinations and come back with different ideas. And he came up with a lot of very, very interesting ideas. The one idea that he came up with was the solid state entity. He became convinced that as technology became more interwoven into everyday life, that it would eventually reach a point where it would become one giant supercomputer and would take control of the Earth and would destroy all life on Earth. And this was back in like the 70s that he believed that. And that's what's happening. That is exactly what's happening. Technology has become more and more interwoven into every aspect of daily life. Your toaster now has a computer in it that you need to sign into and get on the Wi-Fi in order to use. Your refrigerator, same deal. Your washing machine, same deal. Everything is interconnected, and it is just getting worse and worse. And I believe that this is a real concern because he predicted this back in the 70s. That was when wood paneling on cars was a thing. Wood paneling on cars was popular in the 70s. They didn't have a lot of interconnected technology. They didn't have AI. They didn't have Wi-Fi to connect everything to everything else. And so he called it. He completely called it. You know, the technological singularity is predicted to arrive in 2050 at the latest, really, at the absolute latest. We only have a short period of time before then, so we need to do whatever we can to prevent this solid state entity from destroying all life on Earth. I'm going off into schizoland now. But, AI is not really a good thing anymore. People are becoming dumb. Ted Kaczynski was absolutely right, although if he had just gone a couple steps further, he could have made some important observations about human nature and technology. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. Peace.